Top of the AM, top of the AM. All praise the Father. Most High Yah, God of Israel. Say you ask and pray more. Woke up and I had some thoughts on my spirit. Alright? And the thoughts I had in my spirit, let me go sit my little behind down and get some better lighting. Okay, my little rocking chair. I like my rocking chair. So I was thinking about, matter of fact, let me go get into the sun. It's still a little nippy for me. Oops, there we go. That's better. So I was thinking about a few things. Normally, what I read um, from the night before. That's how my spirit works. And I'm currently in Genesis. Started Genesis again and again. In the Septuagint or Septuagint, whatever, tomato, which is the Greek version of the Holy Scriptures, the good book they call it. I call it. And I'm up to the part. No, I just like to go back, bro, and start over sometimes, especially if it's been a while since I revisit or updated my on certain stories, and sometimes we just forget. It's just what happens. Sometimes we overlook. Um, this is one of my main reasons why I go back and start over. So I'm in Genesis, and I'm up to the part where we talking about Joseph, and as I'm thinking about it today, as the scriptures I came across that stood out to me, I highlighted it, and I'm gonna go in and show y'all. But um, the scripture is talking about Joseph and the Pharaoh, and how the Pharaoh was discomforted with a vision, a dream the Most High sent to him, and he couldn't understand it. So he summons all the wise people under his commandment, his commands, his rulership, right? He summons all the wise, all those that claim to be, right? And none of them can interpret his dream. Nobody can relay any information to help the Pharaoh with understanding. And that shit pissed him off from what I'm reading or what I read. It pissed him off really bad to the point where he threw all his high ranking officers and counselors and shit like that into jail, right? So they go to jail and they bump into Joseph. Joseph did because the Pharaoh sent him to jail for reason of messing with his wife, but it didn't happen. But he went to jail anyway, and he was there for like 2 years. And Joseph basically was favored, highly blessed, and very wise himself, and he had the ability to interpret dreams and stuff like that. So he found himself, being that guy in jail. And when the cupbearer, whoever these officials are, when they came into the presence of Joseph, they told him the story of how they got here. Well, got in that place. Long story short, you know how word get around. So, because the Pharaoh still need to know what them dreams was about. And what happened is Joseph is called. He's summoned to speak with the Pharaoh once again. And I'm going to go get the scripture. Why? Because this is something that hit me and made me look at life different, or who I am, and to be ecstatic, to be associated, to be from this lineage, from this family. And nobody, I have not yet heard anybody in the hood, anybody period, in my circle, brag or speaks about wanting to be this. It's always, I want to be somebody from a different nation, right? I want people to boom. But this is the thing that hit me. This is the shit that hit me just now. The Most High made me look at it from a different perspective. Let me see if I can't really see it. I'm gonna just read it because it's gonna be looking crazy. I think it's just Genesis chapter 40, I believe. Right. 40 and 15, I believe. Because he says, for surely I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews. So when I read that hit me. Joseph was telling the people that he was stolen from the land of the Hebrews. But I want to go back a little bit. I'm going to go back. I'm going to read 39. And I'm going to read starting at verse 14. This is the part I was talking about with the wife trying to accuse Joseph of messing with her, you know what I mean, making a pass. So that she called those that were in the house, and she spoke to them, saying, see, he brought into us a Hebrew servant. A Hebrew servant. They speaking of Joseph. I seen a couple spots up in here speaking about that. The word, it stands out. It's like, it stands out. The land of the Hebrews. A Hebrew servant. Oh, there we go. And I'm about to go here. Check this. I'm going to read this while I'm at. So I'm going to get back to what we were talking about with the Pharaoh. And Joseph being a Hebrew servant. Not a Hebrew slave now, but a Hebrew servant, respectfully, initially. That's who we are. Excuse me. I take that back. Everybody's not that. I'm talking about those who can correlate with this right here, who read this word and understand what I'm saying. That's what we are. We are Hebrew servants. No Hebrew slaves. Yes, we came to be slaves. Yes. But I'm talking about initially, when it's all said and done, we Hebrew servants of the Most High. That's our race. That's our nation. You see? And I'm very ecstatic to be aware and a part of something of such magnitude. And why I say such magnitude, check this out. Because this Hebrew servant, right? He do things that no other person can do. I'm going to show you. And it said, and there was there with us a young man, a Hebrew servant of the captain of the guard, and we related to him our dreams, and he interpreted them to us, and it came to pass. So this is where he started to make a name for himself. And like I told you, the word got out. So now the Pharaoh want to speak with Joseph. And Joseph said to the Pharaoh, the dream of the Pharaoh is one whatever God does, he has shown to Pharaoh. The 7 good cows, and he started to break down and interpret the dream. I'm not gonna read all that. I'm gonna fast forward because I want to get to the point of what I said. This is on a high magnitude, right? This is on a high magnitude. This is catastrophical. This is catastrophical. This is big. This is big. This is very big, and I'm gonna go back just to let you know. Okay, so let's go. So I said with the Hebrew servant, right? Okay, and Pharaoh awoke, and it was a dream, and it was the morning, and his soul was troubled. Pharaoh had a soul as well, so you know he's official. And he sent and called all the interpreters of Egypt and all the wise men. The Pharaoh related to them his dream, and there was no one to interpret it to Pharaoh. No one. Let's talk about this now. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. Let's talk about that. We in Egypt now. Egypt is historically known for what? Greatness, right? Such wise people came around. Sorcerers, witchcraft, talking about the divination, all this stuff. We're talking about Egypt now, right? Secret codes, hieroglyphs, all that, right? Peep game. The Pharaoh summoned all of the wise people, all those who do this. This is what they do. This is what they do. This is the time to shine, right? And he said there was nobody in the land of Egypt that can relate to him his dream. All of her wise men, all of them. Check this now, fast forward. After Joseph told the Pharaoh his dream, check this. Now then, look out a wise and prudent man, and set him over the land of Egypt, and let Pharaoh make and appoint local governors over the land, and let them take up a 5th part of all the produce of the land of Egypt. Right? Check this out. And the Pharaoh said to all his servants, shall we find such a man as this, who has the Spirit of God in him? The Pharaoh said to Joseph, since God has shown thee all the things there is, and said, there is not a wiser or more prudent man than you, thou shalt be over my house, and over my people shall be obedient to thy word. Only in the throne will I excel thee. The Pharaoh said to Joseph, behold, I set thee this day over all the land of Egypt. The Pharaoh took his rings off and put it in the hands of Joseph, and put on him the robe of fine linen, and placed the necklace of gold round about his neck, and mounted him on around his neck, and mounted him on the second of the chariot, and Harold made proclamation before him, and set him over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh. Without thee, no one shall lift up his hand on all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called the name of Joseph. You hear that? Why I read this now? Joseph, that dude. There's nobody in the land. There's nobody in the region, bro, that's wise enough in the eyes of Pharaoh. But this Hebrew servant is. That's what I am. And that's what I am ecstatic to be a part of. You realize that the Most High chose us Hebrew servants to be the treasure of the whole world? The whole world. But we find ourselves wanting to be like all these heathens and these wicked artists and what do we want to call them? Philosophers, right? All these philosophers. Bro, none of them can touch the Hebrew slaves, right? If they can't touch the Hebrew slaves, they can't even mess with the Hebrew servants, because once you really doing the job as who you are, which is what the people of the Most High, because we are chosen, we be inherited. We was inherited by Him. He chose us. We didn't choose Him, so we in debt because that's right. So when He did that, He told us who we were. Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. You see, not because we was many. Not because there was a whole bunch of us, not because we was big and all that. Nah. Actually, we was very few in numbers. But we different. We very peculiar. Treasure. And once that spirit of Yah is inside of us, there's nobody that can deal with us. The mental capacity, the spirituality, the all of it, bro. That's why they call Him the Most High. And the Pharaoh said it himself. There's nobody who can interpret that. In the land of Egypt, and Egypt is known to be historical for what? Big boy stuff, right? All that intellectual warplay and everything like that, all these religions, all that stuff, right? Let's talk about it, bro. Let's talk about it, right? When the Pharaoh took the rings off, he said, take the rings off. I won't exceed unless you sit in my throne, right? But everybody talking about all this Kemet and all that. I don't want to be a part of no Kemet. They not on the wave of the Most High. And Joseph was a Hebrew. Let's get this correct. He was a Hebrew Israelite, because he come from Israel, his father, Jacob. So he is Hebrew. That's his nation. From the land of Hebrew, where he said he was taken from. Right? Let's talk about it. So everybody always talking about this and that. You know what? When they ask me who I am, I told them I'm a Hebrew servant. That's who I am. What's your nation? I'm a Hebrew servant, bro. Where I'm from, the land of the Hebrews. My people's from that. You understand that? And that's gonna be my talk. That's my dialogue. And to tie it in again, except precept upon precept. It just hit me just now, bro. Guess who else is another person who did it on that level, in a whole different time zone and different nation? Let's talk about Daniel, the wisest of them all. Daniel, let's talk about it. I'm going to go get the scripture. Let's talk about it. Let's go get it real quick. Me and Daniel, King Nebuchadnezzar, right? What happened? Then he get a vision, a dream. Then he get the same thing, right? That's what happened, right? And what happened? Let's go get it. He did the same thing. Same thing, bro. Damn. He got all his little sorcerers and people that do that stuff, witchcraft, and claim to be I know it all type of stuff like that. And when the pressure's on, they fold. You understand? They fold. Okay, I found it right here. I already found it. I'm looking for the part where he told them, I want these people to tell me the dream. No, I'm not gonna tell you what it is. You tell me. Yeah, and the second year, I'm in Daniel chapter 1 verse. Daniel chapter 2 verse 1. In the second year of his reign, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed a dream, and his spirit was amazed, and his sleep departed from him. And the king gave orders to call the enchanters, the magicians, and the sorcerers, and the Chaldeans, to declare the king his dream. And they came and stood before the king. And the king said to them, I have dreamed, and my spirit, peep game. It said his spirit. See, back in the days where we just read with Joseph, the Pharaoh said his soul. That was deep just now. I just peeped that out. I'm going to talk about that later on. After this video, I'm about to go. Bro, matter of fact, I can talk about that right now. Bro, you see the difference? His spirit, and Pharaoh said soul. You understand? This let me know that I'm gonna talk about this next time. I don't want to get off point. Yeah. So, and his spirit was amazed, right? Okay, keep going. And the king said to them, I have dreamed. My spirit was troubled to know the dream. And the Chaldeans spoke to the king in the Syrian language. Right? O king, saying, live forever. Do thou tell the dream to thy servant, and he will declare the interpretation. The king answered the Chaldean, the thing has departed from me. If ye do not make known to me the dream, the interpretation, ye shall be destroyed, and your house shall be spoiled. But if you make it known to me, right, the dream and interpretation, therefore ye shall receive me gifts and presents and things of that nature, right? And the king answered and said, I verily know that ye are trying to gain time. Hold up, let's go back. All right, let's go back. Okay, so we got that point. He get it, he get blessed. He don't, he's dead. Okay. Let's go. Let's keep reading. They answered the second time and said, let the king tell the dream to the servant, and we will declare the interpretation. The king said, I verily know that you are trying to gain time, because you see that the thing has gone from me. If then ye do not tell me the dream, I know that ye have converted to utter before me a false and corrupt tale. He ain't playing. Nah, you tell me what I got. I ain't gonna tell you. You gonna try to know. We ain't gonna do that. Check this out. Okay. The Chaldeans answered before the king and said, there is no man upon earth. And the Chaldeans is known for witchcraft, high alchemy, all that stuff. I'm talking about spiritual things. You know what I mean? Like divine. That's what they do. That's what they're known for. Do your research. And they say nobody on earth can do this. Check this out. For the question which the king asks is difficult, and there is no one else who shall answer it before the king, but the gods with a lower G. Who dwelling is not with any flesh. Gods with an S too, letting you know there's multiple gods, and that's what they worship, multiple gods. They didn't worship the Most High God. You see where I'm coming from? All these people, all these nations don't know about them, know about the Most High. They don't. So when we talk about that, of course they're gonna say, "Who's that? What's this and what's that?" They don't know about it. They still think it's 365 days in a year. See, if they follow the culture, they know it's 364 days in a year. Because what? 7 is the perfect number. That's the symbolic number. That's the holy number. 7 weeks, 52, 7 days in a week, 52 weeks in a year, 364 days in a year. That's how it works. And it all breaks down evenly by 7. That's why 7 is significant. Go back. Let's go talk to the one that is the Hebrew servant and did the unthinkable, because these people said no one can do this on the face of the earth. Peep game. Because now he put a decree. He put a decree. He was saying, because that pissed him off. Then the king, in rage and anger, commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. So we in Babylon. This is what they say here. We speak in Babel, right? Babylon, Babylon, blah, 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 right? This is the new Babylon. We, right? So check this out, man. So the decree went forth and began to slay the wise men. So anybody who claimed to be wise, bro, imagine that right now. All these people who claim to be wise. Louis Farrakhan, Al Sharpton, all these YouTubers, all these what do they call it? Influential people, whatever they want to call them, these high college, all these things, and the only they quoting are philosophers from Greek. Right, they going back as that, like Socrates, and you know what I mean. Like, come on, bro. This is who they teach us to be, follow after, and quote their words and all that. They wise saying Albert Einstein, bro. Them people are not on this level. Let's make that clear. Two different levels, people. Like, understand this. So check what this dude, what this dude doing right now. Then you heard the stand. Like, what? They gonna kill the wise? Matter of fact, I bet you if this was today, a lot of people won't claim to be wise. They be like, nah, I don't know what you talking about. I ain't wise. No, nope. I mean, that's the difference. You see? And that's why I say I'm happy to be a part of something like this. This is my family lineage. This is my ancestors. Right? And when Daniel heard this, then the mystery was revealed to what? Daniel in the vision of the night. Daniel blessed the God of heaven and said, may the name of God be blessed from here, from everlasting to everlasting, everlasting, everlasting. You know what I mean? So let's jump to it. Right. And Daniel answered before the king, said the mystery which the king asked. The explanation of is not in the power of the wise men, musician, enchanters, soothsayers, to declare to the king, but there is a God in heaven revealing mysteries, and he has made it known to King Nebuchadnezzar. What things must come to pass in the last days? Boy, Daniel's a bad boy. He's a bad man. He's a bad man. Went up there and handled business. He said, what? He's gonna do what? They gonna kill all the... I'll be back. So technically, another reason why Babylon and most of these nations around here should thank the Hebrews. I just gave you another scenario just now. Well, I didn't give it to you. I just read it. The Bible gave it to you. It just shows you just now. Nebuchadnezzar was on it. Nebuchadnezzar was on it, bro. Like, he said, I'm gonna kill all you wise people, all you magicians, all you sorcerers, all you about to get... Bow! What part you don't understand that? So if he didn't do that, who stopped him from doing that? Daniel. And what is Daniel? Daniel is a Hebrew servant. Let's talk about it. Who's Joseph? Joseph is what? A Hebrew servant. Like he said, I'm a Hebrew servant. They took me from the land of the Hebrews. Why are we going to talk about this nowadays? Why are we talking about African slavery and all that? Why is it always about Africa? Why is this? I don't socialize with that. Isn't Egypt in Africa? Why? What's up with that? What's up with that? Egypt is in Africa, and it was easily known that what? Hebrew people exist. And they have their land called the land of Hebrews. And Joseph was pretty much the pioneer. He came over and took over Africa to a degree, because Egypt pretty much is the face of Africa to a degree. But Egypt and what? Ethiopia. Let's talk about it. He held them down for what? 7 years. The famine, right? He saved everybody. Let's go back. It's like Daniel saved these people in Babylon. So we've been saving nations, bro. That's what we do. We come around. We saving America right now, aren't we? Isn't America been? If it wasn't for the couple people being over here, America go down. If we stop buying all this bullcrap from the Europeans and all, it goes down. Who's saving this nation? Let's talk about it. I'm about to be done, because what they like to do is like to split my videos in half and all that. That's why I don't be doing videos no more. But I'm going back and let you know this is what it is, and who Wavy Israel is a Hebrew servant. Let's talk about it. Back at like crack at it. You already know. Say less and pray more. I praise the Most High for this word. This is a good word. Say less. Hallelujah.